Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today, it is Thursday, January 25th, 2024. It is Tu B'Shvat. It is broadcast 978. Thank you, Penny. And it is also day 111 since October 7th. We are in the middle of countless things, but what has been constant for the last 978 consecutive weekday mornings has been our presence with each other, has been loving each other, supporting each other, and learning Torah, supporting the work of the Jewish community in the world, and supporting individuals who turn to us for guidance and for strength. So it is beautiful to be here with you, Pete. It's good to see you. Hi, Robin. It is beautiful to see you, Hannah and Ellen. Start at the top on Facebook. Dale and Arlene, Linda, Anna and Jonathan, good morning. Hi, Barry. Keith, good to see you too. Ashley and Marilyn, Minna and Andrew, Booker Tov, Stanley, good to see you. Debbie and Adrian, nice to see you, my friend. Lydia and Arlene. Isaiah, my brother, it's good to see you. Rabbi Isaiah Rothstein is with us on Instagram. Good to see you there. Arlene, Natalia, Sunday, and Jacqueline, good morning. All right, let's take a breath. Really, let's take a breath. Let's sing a bracha for learning. Robin, praying for your friend Torin, who is hospitalized, praying for their health, praying for your strength too. All right, here's that breath that I'm taking with my friend Fabrice in Paris. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Hope that you and yours are safe and well. Happy Tu B'Shvat. In the middle of it all, happy Tu B'Shvat. May we feel our connection with the earth, with the created world around us, this fragile planet and universe that we have been entrusted with. May we feel that coursing through our blood, through our bones, through our souls, because we are of this earth. We are Bnei Adam, children of the earth itself. God called our first ancestor that, which is misunderstood through gender. It's not Adam, it's Adam. It's to be a creature of the Adamah, of the earth itself. And so just as Valerie says every morning, Hineni, I am here, we are here, on this new year for creation, for the trees themselves. And through them, as we shared yesterday, may we touch the roots in the soil, travel through the earth, and send our hearts where they are most needed, which is by those still held in captivity. And so as Ron said as well just now on Instagram, bring them home now, especially now, definitely now. There is no waiting. No more waiting. A little bit of Torah for today, friends. And I hope that you are letting in the strength of Tu B'Shvat and feeling the warmth of this community as we delve once again into Torah through the prism of these last 111 days, these complicated 111 days, especially given that we are part of a community that has now been counting days. This is broadcast 978. There are lots of ways to mark time. Tu B'Shvat gives us the gift of starting that count again with a new year based on creation, based on existence. Here's a little bit about this Parsha. To remind you of the context, we are in Parshat B'Shalach. We'll be reading it this Shabbat, which is also known, as Shabbat Shirah, the Shabbat of Song, because we cross through the Red Sea upon becoming free, upon being redeemed by God. And that crossing is us running for our lives. And then as we emerge, the waters collapse on themselves, killing the Egyptian army that has been coming to kill us. And with that last threat literally erased from existence, we sing. Important to hold on to the commentary, which puts words and emotions into God's heart, as it were, saying, how can you sing when my children are dying? Which is a cautionary tone for us to set right now. You might have seen, and I hope that you will look for it and share it, scenes that are happening today in Gaza with civilians protesting Hamas in Gaza. How brave those people are, the risks they are taking, because a terrorist government that is wielding war is absolutely going to squelch any dissent from their own people. And so I commend, we should stand with those civilians in Gaza who are raising their voices at great personal risk. May God protect them too. Now, in this week's Torah portion, we have a moment that you could overlook, but we shouldn't. We could take this moment to make ourselves strong enough to look at text and to challenge it back. Of course, the texts since Simchat Torah, since October 7th, which was Simchat Torah, the day that we begin the Torah reading, the Torah cycle itself, everything has been through the prism of October 7th, at least for me, when I read the text. So when I look at chapter 14 of the book of Exodus, right, the middle of this week's Parsha, the Hebrews, Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, God said to Moshe, saying, and we have just run from Egypt. We haven't yet gotten to the sea. Daber el bnei Israel v'yashuvu v'achanu lifnei piachirot bein migdol uvein hayam lifnei bal tzafon nichachot tachanu al hayam. Here's our translation. I know that was a lot of Hebrew pretty fast, but follow me, trust me. We'll get there. Tell the Israelites to turn around and encamp before Pihachirot. By the way, Pihachirot, camp before the mouth of freedom. It's so much to take in. Between Migdol and the sea, before Baal Tzafon, you shall camp facing it by the sea. So here's what I want to do with my hands, because it might be the easiest way to demonstrate this. Here's Egypt. We run for our lives. Here's the Red Sea. And then God tells Moses to tell all of us, turn around. And you and I know what's about to happen, that the Egyptian army is about to pursue us yet again. This is before the splitting of the sea, and so even though you and I know where the story goes, we didn't know it then. The Israelites certainly didn't know it. Their backs were against a wall. And Hashem says to Moshe, have the people turn around. What might this mean for us today? What might this mean? I'm obviously reading every Torah portion, every verse, through the prism of our experience since October 7th. So I know that will come through in this interpretation. But we are running for our lives. That is so much of Jewish history. And then at a certain point we decide that's enough. That's enough of that. Zionism is itself the experience in history of the Jewish community around the world, realizing that until we achieve self determination, we will always be running for it. Zionism is a revolution in Jewish history. Now, it is a modern political movement of the indigenous people of the land. So Zionism is not something that was created in the 1880s. Zionism is the modern word for a biblical reality that we lost for 2,000 years of diaspora and wandering, of running for it. Because another word for diaspora is exile. And even though, especially here in America, we have this conversation often, and you can read texts like one written by Rabbi Arthur Hertzberg, which is that exile ended with the immigration of the Jewish community to Israel and the birth of the immigration to the United States and the birth of the state of Israel. This is a very big debate in American Jewish history. But Zionism was created as a response to a global feeling of powerlessness, of running from one pharaoh after another. And you and I could name one terrible, disruptive, destructive moment in Jewish history after another. Some of them were experienced on individual levels, some of them were collective. But even the individual ones, like the trial of Alfred Dreyfus, who was a French Jewish general, falsely accused of treason, didn't result in the crowds around saying guilty or innocent. They resulted in crowds saying death to the Jews. Because even when I'm functioning as an individual, it is clear in the context of global history that I am a symbol for my people. That is complicated in countless ways, and inappropriate in many ways too. But we are arevim ze bazeh, the Talmud tells us. We are responsible for each other. And when it comes to these moments that are frequent in Jewish history, including the Inquisition and expulsion from Spain, including Kishinev and the Chmelnytsky massacres, and one persecution after another, it is important to remember that Theodor Herzl, who heard those chants of death to the Jews at the trial of Alfred Dreyfus, recognized not as someone who was steeped in tradition. Herzl was not a religious Jew, did not study text, wouldn't have been part of our 9 o'clockers community. But he suggested and mobilized the entire Jewish world and much of the non-Jewish world, because he said it basically like this in his pamphlet, Der Judenstaat, right, the Jewish state, envisioned decades before. But without his work, it never would have happened. He said, the world has a problem, the Jews. And the Jews seem to have a problem, the world. So instead of running from Pharaoh all the time, which is what we are doing, remember, Egypt, running for it, the command Herzl and we all have internalized is a modern version of what God commands Moshe to tell us to do, which is, here's the Red Sea, back to the wall. What are you going to do? Turn around, face the threat, take it on. Become strong enough to face the threat. And after October 7th, where the threat reared its ugly head, incredibly successfully, and hurt our people so badly, and is still hurting our people so badly, what are we going to do about it? The answer has to come from a place of power. Again, my definition of Zionism has always been the ethical use of power we wish we didn't need. But I'm wearing this around my neck because we need it. We have had a long history, friends. Our people has thousands and thousands of years of history, 2,000 years of wandering. And that wandering came to an end with the birth of the Third Jewish Commonwealth, the modern state of Israel. Imperfect though it may be, it is home. Imperfect it may be, it is family. And the absolute mandate of this moment, that the world is reminding us because of how it ignores history, how it ignores our pain, how it ignores the hostages, how it ignores women who have been hurt, who've been sexually assaulted and raped, women who are still living in tunnels. God forbid what's happening to them. After 2,000 years of powerlessness, we are finally hearing this verse again. And finally, meaning 1948. Finally, meaning 1967. Finally, meaning 1973. Finally, meaning 1982. Finally, it just over and over. The world is showing us that the command that God offers Moshe is one that we must internalize in our bodies. Enough wandering, enough running for it. We don't run anymore. We will not run anymore. So when we say Am Yisrael Chai, friends, I hope you understand we are saying Am Yisrael Chai. We are not giving the world a choice about whether or not we will live with dignity. The founding of the State of Israel is the Jewish people saying, enough running. So say it with me, friends, before we sing. Am Yisrael Chai. Say it again. Am Yisrael Chai. I know, at least you can see it on Instagram. You might be able to see it on Facebook. Recently, as I say those words, my fists are clenched, not because I ever wish to use them on any human being, but this is what it feels like right now. Combination of reactivity, but also strength. Strength. The ethical use of power we wish we didn't need is the recognition that sometimes we do need power and we must be ethical as we fight. For our children, for our grandparents, for the hostages, for our future. And I say all of this just 1 hour after my daughter lands in Israel to study for the semester, to do her part within the Jewish people, volunteering for a month and a half before going to study at Hebrew University, a place where she is the third generation of my family to study at that revered place of learning. We don't run away, we run to. We run toward. We will face the threats, and we shall overcome. Those words, of course adopted by the civil rights movement here in the United States, were born of a text in our Torah. We shall overcome is the exact translation of the phrase Hakol Nuchala, which is stated by Joshua and Kalev ben Yefuneh when Jews are scared of what's to come. When the spies bring back the report that there are threats in the land. The two of them are heroes in the rabbinic and Jewish imaginations because they say, yes, it is scary, we shall overcome. This fist is there for a reason. It is clenched right now, but that's because it is time to show strength. Please God, may we be strong. Please God, may the hostages be freed. May we rescue them. May they come home soon. Today, now. May we find a way to achieve security and safety on behalf of our people. This work is urgent. This work is real. This work is a modern version of the verse that says, face your enemy, be strong. Your back to the wall is just a reminder that you can turn around and face it and be strong. May we be strong. Am Yisrael Chai. Let's sing, friends. Kol hod balevav penima nefesh Yehudi homia ulefate mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia od lo avda tikvatenu hatikva bat shnot alpayim liot am chofshi be'artzenu Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim liot am chofshi be'artzenu Eretz Tzion v'Yerushalayim. Bless you, friends. Am Yisrael Chai. Bring them home now. See you tomorrow.